Hey y'all!
Woo! Hey y'all!
I'm saying hey y'all because I'm channeling my inner Beth Marshall of Beth Marshall Presents. I'm Rob Wynn Anderson of the Garden Theater, located in downtown Winter Garden, Florida. Beautiful place. You need to come see us. Beth is here because she is producing and directing the second show of the garden season, which is Tennessee Williams' A Glass Menagerie, and I know it's one that she has been longing to do for a long time. So in your director's notes, you describe it as definitive version, definitive text. Will you explain what that is?
Well, it is the original version of the script that Tennessee Williams wrote back in the day, and it is not the version that is often marketed, licensed out to use. He, once the version that most people know came to fruition, he made the decision that if you guys want to do that, that's great. If you want to do the original, the definitive text, that's great too. I'm cool either way. And the other one kind of latched on to the more mainstream marketing, and thus I wanted the other one, which was the original.
And so, but how's it different? What makes it different?
Okay, so what makes it different is the projected imagery that is in the script, as well as what is called legend imagery. And the legend imagery is written words or sentences, no more than one sentence or two max, maybe, and the projected imagery is kind of whatever you want. There was no set, here's what you buy with it.
Right.
There are people that have their own licensing from their own productions that they put out, but myself and Josh Senua are doing the projection design, and we are picking and choosing a little bit different than what's even in the script, and choosing some of the legends and some not.
Well, obviously he gave you freedom then.
Full freedom.
But what's wild to me is that the fact that it uses projections. I mean, I wouldn't think of Tennessee Williams. I mean, it's not like the Greeks, but still, it's still, you don't think of projections. So obviously very forward thinking.
Incredibly forward thinking.
So why has this been 30 years in the making for you?
Well, this is crazy. I don't know exactly. I have not produced or directed any Tennessee Williams. I have acted in Tennessee Williams, but it has been since the beginning of my career, since I've even acted in it. And I think what it's come down to is just that I haven't, every season it's been discussed, and it hasn't quite made the final cut of my season or the final cut of the season where I'm producing, be it the garden or anywhere else, and this year it did. So I think that has to do with the timing of now. I think that I wanted to do a classical piece and put a relevant here and now timeless spin on it.
And what makes it relevant then for now?
Well, one, we're in a political season, obviously. And so the social landscape of the time in the 30s, it takes place in 1937, is greatly discussed. And the role of women in that time frame. The sort of decision of, are you going to a business school? Are you getting married? Are you doing both? And how that is relevant, I think is very hot topic right now. And then one of the spins, which is not really a spin, it's just sort of where we're forefronting the character of Tom, the narrative character, which is Tennessee Williams' voice in this piece, is that he is a poet. And so the idea of the poetry of the piece and the legends being the poetry within the script is kind of the vision that I took and pushed forward. And then we married that with the use of no props in the show whatsoever.
Which is really fascinating.
And it's sort of, for those who have seen our past production of Our Town, or any production of Our Town, most of the time is used sans props. And so in this piece, which is so much about a glass menagerie, and the use of props, they aren't there except for one, and it is not the menagerie.
So how do you feel that's illuminated things differently for you?
I think, well, one of the things is it's a memory play
Right.
And so in our memories, we remember what we want. And often that is not materialistic. And so I've sort of just stripped the materialistic part out of it.
Right.
And pushed forward how we see things in our mind when we dream.
Right.
What's sort of emphasized, and it's the other senses that stand out. So through the imagery, whether it's a visual image, you might see it kind of exclamated in that way of sight, or sound, you might see it through, or how you're hearing it, and then of course the acting is how you're feeling
Sure.
it. You know,
Wow.
so it certainly puts a heightened responsibility on the actors, and we have had a lot of fun with the mime portion of this
Sure.
piece, because it's not like we don't recognize that these props are part of their life, and they're in there. In the same way, it is a little bit of an homage to our town in that regard too,
Right.
Because it is that sort of no props and no use of any material other than the words of the script and your emotions.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Makes me want to see it.
Yay!
And so the dates are October 21st through November 6th here at the Garden Theater. Go to gardentheater.org for tickets. You'll want to do that soon because I'm sure it's going to sell out. When we announced this to our encore audience, there was a huge reaction. So people are very excited about Tennessee Williams. They're excited about the Glass Menagerie. We're always excited about Beth Marshall. And please come and support the garden. Thank you.